today's meeting, interactive session with Grace Ojo. Thank you for joining me on this call. Yes, we started this meeting on the 1st of September, interactive session with Grace Ojo, and we have the focus, the objective of this meeting as to bridge a knowledge gap in the insurance industry. And we started by laying the foundation of the insurance, the fundamental principle of insurance. The first week we talked about the insurable interest. The second week we talked about the utmost good faith. The third week we talked about the proximate cost. And last week we talked about indemnity. There we understand the fact that the contract of insurance is a contract of indemnity and of indemnity only, and that the insured, when the loss occurs, shall be fully indemnified, but shall never be more than fully indemnified. And we understand that that was the fundamental principle of insurance. And today we'll be moving on to the next topic. But before I introduce today's topic, I have a question for us. I would like us to unmute our mic and answer the question. Now I want to ask a question. If you have, let's work with the example. Let's say a car, you buy a car. Can you insure your car with more than insurance company? Can you insure your car with more than insurance company? And if you can insure it, with more than insurance company, at claim stage, can you claim from the, let's say you insure with 2 insurance companies. When there's a loss, can you make claim from the 2 insurance companies you have insured your car with? Please unmute your mic and answer the question. Let's answer the question. Hello, everyone. Please let's
hello, madam.
Question.
Hello, madam.
I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Ojo.
Good evening, sir.
From my own layman perspective, I think it's not be appropriate to insure with more than 1 insurance company. I believe sincerely that it would be appropriate just to have a contract with 1 company, as the case may be, except you want to enlighten me otherwise. That's my own perception anyway.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you very well, sir.
Can you hear me now?
I'm trying to increase my volume. Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
I've increased my volume. I can hear you very well now.
Yes. What I said previously was that you cannot insure with more than 1 insurance company.
Okay.
It will be appropriate to just have a contract with 1 single insurance company.
Okay.
Except you want to enlighten me otherwise. That's my own perception. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have another contradictory opinion to that in the house?
Sorry, Ma, I was asking that I missed the question. I wanted you to go over the question again.
That I missed the question.
I didn't hear, I missed the question.
Yes. My question is it possible for you to insure, for example, if you buy a car, you have a car you want to insure, can you insure it with more than 1 insurance company? Maybe like 2 or 3 insurance, the same car.
Yes, I think you can. So far, you're ready to pay the premium in the different insurance companies.
Okay.
And well, it's just, for me, I think you should be able to insure it in as many places as possible. That's what I think.
Okay. So if you can insure it with more than 1 insurance company, when loss occurs, do you think you can make claim from different insurance companies for which you have insured it? The same claim?
Well, I think you should. If you've paid premium in multiple places, each person should treat your transaction and process your claim, I think, except you let us know otherwise. maybe I'm wrong. I stand corrected.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate you for your response. The two people that have
Yes,
responded
ma'am.
to my question, thank you very much, Mr. Yojo and Motola. Thank you so much. Now, that will lead us to today's topic. You know, we've been talking about the fundamental principles of insurance, and today we'll be talking about the fifth fundamental principle of insurance, which is the principle of contribution. The principle of contribution. Let us see how it is worded. Let's see how this principle has been worded. I hope you can all see my slide. Can you all see my slide?
Yes, you can. I
Okay.
can.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, it is worded as this: if the insured is to receive but one satisfaction, natural justice says that the several insurers shall all of them contribute pro rata to satisfy that loss against which they are uninsured. No, I told you that insurance have language that we don't always understand. Now, let's look at the definition. I will interpret that wordings for us. Now, let's look at the definition. A contribution is defined as the right of an insurer to call upon others similarly, but not necessarily equally liable to the same insured to share the cost of an indemnity. That is why I asked that question, that is it possible for us to insure with more than one insurance company? Yes. The answer is yes. But is it possible for us to make claim from different insurance companies? The answer is no. Now I will explain. From this principle of contribution, you know, from what we learned last week, we talked about indemnity last week, when we said that the way indemnity was worded was that it is a contract of indemnity and of indemnity only, and that the insured will be fully indemnified when loss occurs, but shall never be more than fully indemnified. We were able to establish this last week, that you cannot make gain from claim. That indemnity is to restore you back to the original position you were enjoying immediately before the loss occurred. So that principle of indemnity says you cannot make profits from claim. And I told us last week that the indemnity is sitting down on two legs. We call them corollary to indemnity, which is contribution and subrogation. So today we'll be talking about contribution, how contribution principle has helped indemnity, has helped insured not to make profit from the loss. Now, if you insure let's say you insure your car with more than one insurance company, that is why anytime you are filling form, I don't know how many of us have filled forms when we want to buy insurance. There is always a salient question that have you insured this particular risk with another insurance company? Why does insurer always ask that question? They want to know if you have insured, if you are insuring that particular risk with more than insurance company, it means when loss occurs, insurers will know which other insurance company to liaise with to share the indemnity cost. Because from the wording of principle of indemnity says all the insurers that participated in insuring that risk, they will have to contribute pro rata. That is, they will contribute appropriately to that loss. So that is what the principle of contribution says. Because we understand from the principle of indemnity that you cannot make gain from your loss. You can only be restored to the position you were enjoying before the loss. So the principle of contribution says as many insurance companies that have insured the same risk, they will contribute to indemnify the insured, so that the insured will be fully indemnified. The insured will be satisfactorily indemnified. The insured will be satisfactorily restored to the original position he was enjoying immediately before the loss. So that is what the principle of contribution says. I hope you understand how I've explained the principle of contribution. So insured will be paid, not that the insured will be going to all those the different insurance companies. Your insurance, the first insurer you lay your claim with, they will pay you. It is not the insurer, that insurer that paid you to go after other insurance companies that have insured the same risk to now share in the cost of the indemnity. Now, we have two ways. Contributions are arranged in two ways. Contributions are arranged under common law and under market agreements. Now, under common law, there are conditions that have to be met before we can say that, oh, this laws, we have to apply contribution principle. And just like I told us last week that there are policies of indemnity and policies and benefits policies. So this principle of contribution is only applicable on policies of indemnity. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, what are the 5 conditions? The first condition is that the risk, there must be 2 or more policies of indemnity at the date of the loss. That is, if it is you have insured your car with company A, you have insured the same car with company B, you know, that is a policy of indemnity. So it is those 2 companies that will share the cost of indemnity, the cost of indemnity when loss occurs. Now, the second condition is that policy must cover common insurable interest. You remember when we talked about insurable interest, we said it is the legal right of an insured to insure the subject matter of insurance because of the financial interest he has in the subject matter of that of insurance. So the insurable interest, it must be that Mr. A, who has Toyota Highlander and has insured his Toyota Highlander with company A, is the same Mr. A with that same Toyota Highlander and is insuring it with company B. So the same insurable interest, that it must be you are the same owner of that risk that you have insured with 2 or more different insurance companies. Now, the second condition is that policy, the peril that gave rise to the loss must be the same peril. It must be common peril. The policy must cover the common peril. How do I mean? When we were talking about proximate cost, we were able to establish that when loss occurs, insurer wants to establish what is the exact cause of the loss, that what peril led to the loss. You remember when we talked about peril. Now, how do I mean? Maybe you have insured your car against fire with company A and company B, and now loss has occurred as a result of fire. So it means that company A and company B will contribute to indemnify the insured, to pay the cost of indemnity to the insured when loss occurs. I believe you can understand this. Now, the fourth condition is that the policy will cover must cover a common subject matter. That is the same subject matter, the same risk. You have insured that car is the risk. So it is that car that no loss has occurred on that car. So, and because you have insured it with more than one insurance company, so the 2 insurance companies you have insured, they will contribute pro-rata, they will contribute to pay the insured. I hope you can get it. Then the last condition is that each of the policy is liable for the loss arising. So you have insured it against fire, and fire has occurred. So company A is liable to indemnify you. Company B is liable to indemnify you. So they will not share the cost of indemnity because you, as insured, you must not profit from your loss, but you have to be restored back to the original position you were enjoying immediately before the loss. I hope we can relate with that. So that is the condition under which contribution principle can occur under common law. Now let's quickly read the last one before I entertain questions. Then the second way contribution can be arranged is under market agreement. What do we mean by that? Is a situation where, let's take example of a bailee and a bailor. I will explain who is a bailor and who is a bailee. Now, a bailor is the owner. Maybe you are the owner of your car. But your car now you need to fix your car. You now take it to a mechanic workshop to fix it for you. And you left it maybe for more than 1 day there, maybe for some days. So the mechanic who is now in custody of your car is the bailee. You, the owner of the car, is the bailor. So insurance expect that you as a bailee, as a custodian of a risk, you have insurable interest to insure that risk. I hope you can relate to this. So it's not only the owner of a risk that can do insurance. As a custodian of a risk, you have insurable interest. So you can insure a risk. So as a custodian, you can insure it. So if loss occurs at the mechanic workshop, you are taking your car to the mechanic workshop. That the mechanic is liable if anything happens to your car. So for that mechanic not to have that carry the risk of that, he can decide to do insurance of the car in his custody. So that's an example of who a bailee is, and you, the owner, is the bailor. Now, under market agreement, if loss occur at mechanic workshop and the insurer of mechanic is the one that have paid the claim, so that the mechanic can give you your car back, you can have your car back. So the insurer, you two are the owner of the car, you have insured your car. So the insurer of mechanic and your own insurer as the right owner of the car, they can have an agreement to share the cost of the indemnity. Because you cannot make claim in 2 ways. You can only make claim once. Once your mechanic has made claim and you have gotten your car back, you cannot go to your insurer again to say you want to make claim. No, it doesn't happen that you cannot make profits from your loss. So under market agreement, the two insurers, that is the insurer of mechanic and your own insurer, can now agree to share the cost of indemnity. So that is what we mean by market agreement. Another way wherein principle of contribution can be arranged. I hope you can all relate with this. Please, do we have any questions? Because of our time, we have just 30 minutes, and I believe I've been able to explain this well. So if you have any questions, please let us bring forth our question so that I can throw more light on it. Thank you very much.
Hello.
I can see 2 participants are raising hands. Okay, Ofonime and Omotola. Ofonime, please ask your question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you for the enlightenment.
Thank you.
And I think I have 2 questions as at now.
Okay.
The first question is on the contributory claim, redemption or whatever.
Okay.
I have disclosed to my insurer that I have an insurance policy on my car with another insurance company already.
Okay.
Will they at that point in time, because the insurance premium is based on...
set for 5.
Please let's mute ourselves and we'll hear background noise, please.
5:30 was the target now.
Yeah, one day, please, can you mute?
Please mute your mic so I won't hear your background noise, please.
Okay, so the question is, will my insurer at that point in time say, okay, the cost of this car is so amount, and your premium is supposed to be this, which I've already done with the first insurer, and I'm coming to the second insurer, will the second insurer also look at the cost and say, okay, since you have already insured with the first one, we are going to share this premium. You cannot be paying the same premium as if you are insuring it at one point. I don't know if you understand me, because if we have to share the value for redemption, then the premium should also be shared. If I was paying 10,000 as a premium for insuring with one insurance, then I now take insurance with two insurers, then it should be able to share it at that point in time. Don't see fairness in that area. So another question I want to ask is in relation to the belly and the below, the mechanic scenario that you painted. What happens if my mechanic does not have an insurance cover for his workshop, and I, the owner of the car, which I've already insured my car, has an insurance with an insurance company? Won't I be indemnified, or how will it be done? Because sorry, I would also like you to touch about what they call general insurance, because or comprehensive, or whatever you may say, however you call it in your insurance term. How does that play out here?
Okay, thank you very much. I think let me start with the last question. If it is if you have insured your car and the loss occur at your mechanic workshop, and your mechanic does not have insurance, you will still, because you have insured it, you will still make claim. You will still, and your claim will still be covered, because it's not that since your mechanic does not have it, and you have a comprehensive cover. That is why it is comprehensive. You will still make the claim. But when you have the insurance and your mechanic has insurance, that is when your own insurer will not respond to your claim. It is now the insurance of your mechanic that will respond to your claim, because it is the insurance of your mechanic that will be primarily liable. But if your mechanic does not have insurance, your claim will still be treated because you have insurance on your car. The second question, you said, since that if we can collect a premium and we cannot, okay, I think the way I understood your see, the most appropriate thing is that once you have covered, once you have adequately covered your risk with one insurance company, when it comes to policies of indemnity, you don't really need to do your insurance in one, two, three insurance company. Once you have adequately covered your loss, your risk with one insurance company, the ideal thing is that you don't need to look to go elsewhere. But we will still talk about overlapping, the case of double insurance, where you can have some overlapping, but as in intentionally, it's not advisable that you intentionally, because maybe probably if an insured intentionally say, okay, I've insured this car with company A, I want to insure it with company, maybe such insurer may be having the mind that so that he can claim in 1, 2, 3, that so that he can make profit out of it. But because the principle, you know, when we started, we said insurance operates on principles, and that's why we are laying the foundation that we want us to understand all these principles, so that when we understand all these principles, even we will have better understanding of how insurance works, and when we are well informed, we too will be able to take a well-informed decision. So it is actually not appropriate for you to say you have insured it, since it is a policy of indemnity, it's not benefit policy. So it's indemnity policy. So once you have insured with one insurance, you are okay. Because if you think you want to insure with 1, 2, 3 insurance company, so that you can make profit out of it, you will not achieve that purpose. Your loss will be shared. So if actually you can be advised, if you have discussed with your broker before you feel it, that okay, you have actually insured this car. If you have insured it, your broker will even tell you that you don't need to insure it again. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Madam, can I make some input, ma?
Okay, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
Thank
sir.
you, madam.
Mr.
Let me join you in. Let me join you by starting from the second question.
Okay, sir.
Where you have your own comprehensive insurance cover, you have the choice to claim from either your own policy, your own insurer, or from the negligent mechanic. Where the mechanic does not have any policy in force, as Madam rightly said, you will be compensated by your underwriter. And your underwriter has the right to subrogate to recovering from the negligent mechanic, because it's the mechanic that was negligent. So it's not your own. You can decide to claim from either of the two, but the one that is convenient for you is from your own underwriter, because you paid your own premium and your policy is in force. So just in addition to what Madam said there, as regard the second one, can you please remind me what the second one is all about again, so that I can make meaningful contribution?
She said because she said, why can't they tell you to
I've
reduce the
remembered that.
premium?
I've remembered that.
Okay.
I've remembered that. So you know, the insurance practice is based on principles, and because the policy you have is an indemnity policy, you cannot make profit from it. And no underwriter that is that you have another policy with, and it will be made clear to you that irrespective of what happens, you cannot claim. Anybody that chooses to have two or more policies deliberately for the same sum insured has hidden agenda. And the first principle of insurance is utmost good faith. You must be honest. You must be open. So to prevent fraud, that's why you cannot claim more than the loss you've suffered under indemnity policy. So that's the little contribution I want to make.
Thank you, sir. My guy in the industry, Mr. Fatai Adegberu. I really appreciate you, sir, for that contribution. Ofanime, I hope you have understood the answer. I hope you are okay with the answer, please. Ofanime.
I quite understand your explanation, but if you are asking me if I'm fine by that, I will tell you that I'm not, because the insurance cannot be telling us the principles of redemption, and it means their principle is only protecting them and it's not protecting their client. I would have expected an insurer to open up to a client at the point of registration that since you already have this property covered with another insurance, that this is how it runs, rather than for you to just get that information and you are getting it at the back of your mind so that when it comes to the point of redemption, we will share. No, it's not. It's not fair. It's not fair to me, but it is fair to you. That is my understanding.
Okay.
Well, madam, that's what I mentioned to you. That
exactly.
If any underwriter is aware of another policy, it will tell you the implication. Exactly. That you should not have to, that you cannot claim more than what you are going to lose or what the value of your property is. It will discourage you from.
You'll be advised.
You'll be advised not to have.
You'll be advised.
That's why I also advise that please engage the services of a registered insurance broker who is a professional in that field that will guide you.
Exactly.
So that you won't lose money and your interest will be well protected.
Exactly. That's why I say you'll be advised. I say your broker will advise you. I said these are the principles. I want us to understand. Please, I don't want us to be biased. That's why this program is out, so that we'll clear all our doubts about insurance. It's a principle and we are laying it bare so that we will all be at the same page. That is why I'm taking the outside to lay this foundation and to let us know the principle on which insurer practice. And that is why we have started from the first principle and we are now on the second principle. Because your broker or your consultant, you'll be advised. When you patronize your insurance, show the professionals in the industry, you'll be advised appropriately, because the interest of the insured is paramount in the mind of the broker or the underwriter. So the interest of the insured is number one. You'll be protected. It is not like years when the professionals are not in the industry, but these days professionals are in the industry and you'll be well guided. That is why this platform is even out to enlighten us. We are running out of time. Omotola, please quickly ask your question so that we can treat it before we call it a day today. Omotola, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I actually was also curious as to if there's a reason the double insurance options was created in the first place. Is there a need it was created to solve if at the end of the day, the premium is the same? But I think we've overflogged that matter already, so it's fine. Let me just move on to the other question that I have. Have you had cases where people, yes, have you had cases where people are not upfront with the fact that they have other insurance premiums? And is there a way you can investigate that to discover that they are not being honest and they end up doing multiple insurance so they can get multiple claims?
Okay, thank you for that question. You know, just like I said, that actually what mostly prompted the insurer for them to deliberately, to say you want to deliberately insure your risk with one or two insurance companies. Maybe you are having it in mind that you'll be able to claim more as when loss occurs.
Yeah, so do you have customers that get away with that and you don't know as insurers?
You see, when it comes to that, there are some times that you have overlapping insurance. We will still discuss it. Just like I said, that we are laying foundation, and this is the principle. I've only presented to us today the principle under which principle of contribution operates. Do you understand?
No problem. I still have another question. I want to quickly ask that.
Can I contribute to that, ma'am?
Okay,
market contribution.
We are even rounding out. Sir, Mr. Fatai, please kindly say that so I will bring this.
Okay, madam, the industry has had many of such cases where a person will insure in 2 or 3 places with a view of making profit or defrauding the underwriters. Some have been caught, many of them have been caught and arraigned in court, because more often than not, there will be an once there's element of fraud being suspected, an investigator will be appointed to look into it, and with the
I've lost that. I think my internet is not stable.
Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
I can hear you, Mr.
We have NIA, which is the body of the underwriters, where information concerning claims are being shared by the underwriters. Once there is a suspicion of fraud, they will now send it to other underwriters to confirm if they are on that risk. Immediately that is flagged and there is a suspicion, then the police will be brought in.
Okay, absolutely. So thank you very much.
These are some of the steps.
Okay, so my last question was going to be on the market contribution. You know, you were speaking about the example of a car owner and a mechanic. So what I wanted to ask is, so in
I'm sorry,
How
Omotola.
do you know that if he doesn't have insurance, then your own insurance committee of the mechanic? Hello,
I don't know what happened to my
can you hear
network.
me?
Punctuating. I didn't hear your question. Please
Okay,
put it on the chat because this
okay.
meeting will
Okay,
end.
go ahead. I think I'm hearing it.
Okay, sir.
Can you
Thank
hear
you,
me
sir.
now?
Go ahead,
Can you hear me
Omotola.
now?
Okay, quickly say
Okay,
Yeah,
so
go
I
ahead,
was
go
just
ahead.
curious that how do you determine the liability? Is it just the mechanic not having an insurance that exonerates him, or even when he's at fault, he can still just come and tell you, I don't have insurance, and then he goes scot-free? Won't he have to then pay by himself out of pocket, even if he doesn't have an insurance company, if he's liable?
Yeah, you are very much right, ma'am. Once he is liable for the loss, is responsible
Yes.
for the repairs. Your own underwriter, because you have a policy, will compensate you. And there is
Okay.
a principle that she is going to teach you. That's obligation.
This
Once
is
the
very
underwriter
good
has
topic.
paid you, he will now take
Yeah.
over your rights against the negligent third party. The negligent third party is now
Okay.
the
Okay.
mechanic.
The mechanic.
He will now
Okay,
recover the
sorry.
amount he
Yeah.
has paid you from the mechanic.
Okay, okay. So I had my very final question. I'm sorry, I had a lot of questions. So my final question, I just wanted to know if the same market contribution also applies to like a landlord and a tenant, maybe a tenant who's in business, and then the property catches fire, and then you have to lay claim, and then both the landlord's insurance and the tenant's insurance are both going to pay. Or another example is someone who's in business and gets a dispatch company to deliver goods, and the goods are destroyed in an accident, that kind of thing. Does it also apply where there's a contribution between a business owner's insurance and another business owner's insurance?
For the first one, it does. It does. If you
Okay.
have, if you have as a tenant, you have a policy covering the loss or damage to the property because you are occupying it,
Yeah.
and the landlord also has another policy covering the same interest. Whenever
Yeah.
there is loss, the two policies will be called to share the loss
Okay.
because it's the same subject matter.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
On that note, we
You're
have to
welcome.
bring this meeting to a close because this day will be cut off in the next less than 3 minutes now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, man. I have another meeting.
Mr. Fatah, I really appreciate you, sir. My very guy in the industry. I really appreciate you for teaming up with me to attend this.
I think you are doing a lot.
Really appreciate you, sir.
You are doing a lot for the industry. You are doing a lot for the industry and the country.
Thank
God
you,
bless
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone that has participated on this program. Next week is another day, 5:30, interactive session with Grace Ojo. Please, if you have any question or want to reach out to me, 080-269-40609. And you can email me at info@graceojoblog.com. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
God bless you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the
Yeah.
encouragement. Thank you
Doing
so
a good
much.
job.
Do have a great evening, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.